All right, welcome back, everyone. This is going to be our last session for the day. So this is last council session. Okay, you ready? This last session is about restorative spaces. You've been kind of going into the the discomfort earlier in the first few sessions. So this is about restorative spaces. What does restoration look like? Describe a situation at, I don't know if it's just at work, it really is about in your community, in your family, where you feel or you felt most engaged, alive in a transformative process. So really this could be, work, family, your community, your tribe, your peeps, the group that you work with, your project. What were the conditions that enabled that to be possible? What would maximize the conditions in your space, whether it's family or work or community, for an experience of aliveness? What would be your utopian vision of how to create conditions where people in the workplace, the community feel most alive? Think about yourself, your silence knowings, your hidden springs. What are the spaces that you would like to have, so you can hear your voice, you can find your voice, and you can help others do that. So the restorative space, and it could be your home, it could be your group, your family, your community, your project. You're also going to get this in the chat, so do download it. 3:10, we'll come back at 3:40. So same thing, 30 minutes. You all go into slightly larger groups. We'll go into 4 rooms instead of 5 rooms. So it will be a slightly larger group, but actually probably not, because there are less of us. So about the same size. See you in 30 minutes. Bye. Okay, welcome back. So final round of sharing from the council session. Restorative spaces. What does restorative spaces look like for you?
I think we are practicing restorative spaces in a way, like our facilitation method, engaging people. I think it's there, but it deserves, restorative spaces deserves more attention. Maybe it should be a norm in the higher up, like decision-making processes in the district or state or province or country level kind of decision making deserves a space that is restorative. But that's my immediate reaction to the word restorative spaces in terms of work. Yeah, we are practicing that. Yeah, and that approach is evolving all the time.
Thanks, Neville.
To me, restorative spaces is where we try to bring back some sort of justice and so forth for those that has been victimized. But I believe to be successful in this restorative space, we must begin with ourselves. That have we found ourselves and so forth, so that if we ourselves are in peace, harmony, and so forth, then the aura helps us in this restorative process. If we ourselves are in a tumult, of course, every day we do face battles, but basically we are very at peace. I think that helps us to try to understand the victims. Because I was telling the group just now, a lot of times the so-called clever people, they tend to go in and bring a restorative situation whereby it's guided by them, rather than going there, listening, empathizing what the victims have suffered, and try to give the best that is required. And maybe balancing with a little bit of what we can contribute. So this is what I feel. It is not easy to do, and it needs a lot of work on ourselves first before we can engage into this space and try to bring it. That's my sharing for the moment. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Halim. Did any of you in your explorations talk about restorative spaces within your projects with the community partners, with even the government partners?
So we talk about, ideally it would be great if in this pandemic we have more self-organizing communities. We work together with them online. What's different before and now, face to face, tu tiada ba. And then trying to keep up with the funder, the government agencies, the KPIs, the reports, while trying to humanize the work on ground. It's difficult for us currently in the work, in our work. So ideally it would be great if we can have more self-organizing communities. Yeah. And I also mentioned about, ideally it would be better if I can know how to speak Dusun. People feel closeness when you speak the same language. We also talk about how tiring, how exhausting to be on screen every day, and how do we find solution for that? It's difficult to, because in the phone it's both personal and work. So we were like, how, you know. So others in my group, please add if there's any, and please correct if I did say something wrong.
Thanks, Yana. Okay, I think shifting into the final part of our journey together, I think we knew this was going to be risky in some ways to hold this session. I think for different reasons, it can be a challenge to talk about colonization or decolonization for different ones of us. I think Emily, you started and you talked about being part colonizer and part colonized. If anyone read the piece that we attached in the email, the kind of prep resources, it talks about the colonized psyche being one where we colonize ourselves, we split ourselves, because that has become embedded in our society or in our culture or in our tribe. And we don't actually need a colonizer. We do it pretty well ourselves. So the whole idea of decolonizing I think Dr. Halim talked about it. Some others of us is starting with decolonizing the self. And it's a long journey. It's, if colonization has been, over, centuries and generations, then decolonizing is not going to happen overnight. Just making things known to yourself or to ourselves is sometimes threatening or risky.